is going to be Inferno Babos versus Kase.
Looking forward to seeing this one. We had a really dope Inferno yesterday. Went into overtime. Very, very close affair. So hopefully we'll get to see something just as spicy today with Kase, of course, starting. I say, of course. No, this was their map pick, and they're starting on the CT side. So Baba actually opting to start on the T side. That's a bold move. I'd be curious to see if that does work out for them. They're clearly feeling a lot more confident in their attacking prowess.
Yeah, well, let's have a see how this is going to be beneficial to them. And these lineups are interesting. We obviously got Melancholy. He not actually listed on HLTV on any of the website that he's playing, so I wonder what the story was behind that. Maybe we'll find out across Twitter or somewhere else. But moving on, first going to see the action here. RCF, one over towards that long position, USB in hand. Not taking any shots. Has received one towards him. Potential rotation coming up towards mid here. Very little utility in hand, but that's expected on the pistol side. But there is some. Davin, smoke in hand, has been thrown out over towards the library. This is indicating they're going to be pushing over towards long. Flash going to be following out over Honda. Looking to take shots. That's going to be coming out. RCF going to be going huge. Picks up 1-2. And the second is the last one. He's going to get traded off. Davin does get that kill. Down to a 2-on-4 situation here. Honda looking to see if he can catch anyone off guard on rotating back towards himself. Davin is going to be that player, but that information is going to be big. Tracks back. I think that was a decoy. It was. Now still in towards this hit player. Does manage to get a dink. Not even sure how that was a dink, considering he has no armor, but nonetheless, they managed to finish it, get the kills as well, and almost a clean round here for Kase.
I must say, I'm feeling for Babos at this point. You know, day one, they come up against Saw, possibly the top team in the Spanish region. I say that they are a Portuguese team, we know this, but they play in the Spanish Premiership League because it encompasses both Spain and Portugal. So just for anybody that wants to hurt me on that one. So they are the top team. Kase are the runners-up 2 seasons in a row, coming second to Saw. And Pro Babos have to face both of these two incredibly strong teams right off the back. Gotta feel for them a little bit.
Definitely feel for them, but you know, you get what you deserve sometimes.
It's harsh.
Gotta be in control of your own, you know, narrative, as it were. I do love the MP9. It's an absolute solid piece of kit here. I don't really expect too much from this round, Sam. I mean, a couple of P250s could make some work, but versus the Famous over towards long, there is a flash, and if that flash doesn't pop, you're going to get screwed, especially versus the A1 that is sitting along here as well. And I'm also really enjoying seeing oh wow, what? He went in for the boost, but the Famous is here to clean up house, but not enough bullets, going to get slaughtered. That boost was fantastic. Ivan turns around and slaughters another one, but the MP9 from Still is here to clean up 3 of the players, and that is a big loss of economy.
Well, that was kind of fish in the barrel. So the first kill comes through, fantastic. Then they lose 2 players, manage to trade it back, cool. But there's a player behind that they hadn't accounted for, so they have to move forward. But they can't move forward because there's a player watching them. So they really do get completely stuck in that small area, top brackets, and yeah, they just get completely mowed down. Rough scenes. Now at least they can buy in. Lacking in the utility department, but they have an opportunity here to try and take advantage of the fact that they do have the better weaponry. They do play a very, very slow, hesitant style, and for the most part, I mean, they've drawn out a lot of the Kase utility, done quite a bit of chip damage themselves, so this could work out for them.
Yeah, and Davin did get headshot there through the smoke. Leo is heavily tagged down, so probably going to want to be a little bit careful. MP9 in hand, going to be playing around church, just waiting for any kind of advance at the moment, but Baba currently looking to push up towards mid, get any kind of information they can. Still's position here, on towards balcony above pit, is going to be crucial if they do decide to descend up on the A site. Smoke out over towards that library position indicates that they have a couple of options they could go for here. Davin, I would question being the person to go in for the peak from balcony. Having such low HP means it's going to be a little bit difficult. A single grenade could take him out. Molotov that gets chucked up there as well. There we go. Pusher going to be coming out. The smoke has anticipated mostly from that long position. Doesn't matter though. Melancholy is going to be able to get that kill on towards still. Does make quick work of the 6 HP Davin up into towards apartments, but now he's going to have to do a lot to defend this site by himself with the MP9 of all things. Not make it work for himself. This should be the first round on the board here for BABOS.
Save call comes through from Kase. Makes a lot of sense. Losing this round, you want to try and salvage as much of that economy as possible. And not a terrible round from BABOS. I was hoping that they take advantage of the fact that they had weaponry now. They do just that in a very, very good fashion. As we said, baited out a lot of that early utility, possibly expecting it as well. You know, one of the advantages a team like BABOS has is that there's going to be a little less tape on them than a team like Kase, who have been around for a little bit longer than they have. So got a little bit more time to be able to anti-strat and to figure out what the moves are going to be. So they probably realize that Kase do like to throw some aggressive utility down Banana, which makes sense. Banana control is really important on this map. Wait that out, wait until they got nothing left in the tank, and then reaggress in towards the A site using the superior weaponry. Only lose out one player. So, of course, that is going to be a little bit of a spend as they have to rebuy in, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. And into the next round, they could still be all right. In fact, they will still be all right to scrounge some sort of a buy together. And that's why the save from Kase was so important, because obviously their cash is not looking great.
Yeah, you'd hope BABOS have done the homework on this one, considering they picked this map versus Kase. But,
yeah.
You know, we'll see. I mean, the strats down Banana are fairly default a lot of the time. I always hate getting naded down there. In apartments, this is an interesting play. I mean, they've got two players up here at the moment. Oh, actually, no, it is a boosted play against the last down. He's going to be pushing up. Might get taken down, Leo. Good work here with the utilities as well. It's going to be bouncing off this flash. Looking to go for a peek, but it's not going to work. His head could get shot if he's not careful. Does manage to take advantage of this situation. Picks up an extra smoke, which he can now lay down. He needs to try and recover a gun, if there is one there. RCF is going to be backing up his teammates in towards apartments. But no one's there. And unfortunately, the secondary smoke that's been put down over towards B from Leo is about to dissipate. It's about to go. So they're going to need to take some action, and that seems to be the case. They're going to be running up behind. Ivan, he's chucking out that smoke at the wrong time. The shots from behind going to be ringing out. But the pushes come on over towards B. Leo picks up one, but that's going to be all he's able to pick up. The aggression has to happen fast here from the CT side. This Molotov is going to counter them for a bit. It's going to allow us to recover an extra smoke here to lay down. And this is going to be difficult. Oh, through the smoke. Honda, 1 HP. Not going to be happy whatsoever. Zed are going to be out the back, waiting to see any heads, but it's going to be Risk instead. These two players are just doing absolute fantastic work, and now RCF is left in a difficult situation. 1v2, and they've split up.
Oh no!
And now they know exactly where he is. There should be another round on the board, but we're not there yet. He still has an opportunity. Headshot comes out. Zed falls, but the bomb is ticking down, and very smartly, Risk is just going to be playing out the timer. Is eventually going to get found, and even though he gets the kill, he's also dead.
I felt that was a really good response from Kase. Instantly, they realize that it's not going to be the A hit, so they go for the pincer maneuver. They push out through mid, up Banana. They manage to get a few kills there, but they're not able to stop the plant from going through. And that post plant, I mean, it wasn't the best. Like, you didn't look at the post plant and go, wow, this is new and innovative and crazy. Like, it was pretty standard. And they were able to hold the line so effectively, just the two of them, with Kase Esports not being 100% aware of where those two players were. Okay, yeah. Pistol round push through mid. Love to see it.
And it's kind of disgusting how often it works out in a way of being able to do some damage to the economy of the opposite team. And I mean, getting 2 kills is huge. That's 2 potential rifles, at least SFGs, out the hands of the opposition. So if who is it? If he doesn't pick up a rifle, okay, there we go. Does eventually pick it up. That was a fantastic round, with all things considered, for Kase. Yeah. And obviously BABOS getting another round on the board is good.
Yeah, doing quite a little bit of damage there. Love to see it. Try and take away some of that economy and keep that going into the next. They have put in quite a big spend into this one. Bringing out that AWP for RCF. hoping to kind of lock this down a bit. Of course, they've now conceded 3 rounds in a row. It's not a ideal situation for Parceiros right now. Their economy is looking very, very messy. They want to try and start salvaging things where possible. So if they can keep this expensive, maybe get some good results with that AWP. And this is an interesting gamble up through apps as well, but first kill is going to come top banana.
Pretty nice kill. Trading HP low. Leo is going to be down to 12 in apartments. Honda does make a decent amount of shots. RCF as well chiming in. That was a perfect play from these two players working in tandem to be able to take out 2 of those players. Now still from at this position. Spots out the head. Does get a dink, but unfortunately through a little bit of the tap there on that well or whatever it may be. Ivan, him and his teammate. He's only got one other one alive at the moment. AWP going to be in the hands of his teammate, making his way up banana. This is going to be a very risky play, and to be honest, I'm here for it. They don't have a crazy amount of money in the bank, Sam, but they've got enough to be able to try and risk it, especially with the fact that Ivan's made it all the way up this far. Now, risk is going to be giving away his position, but this might distract from his teammate's position. We'll have to wait and see. Never mind. Yeps has got this... got this countered. He did just make a footstep. Man might give it away. He hits the headshot nonetheless, and that is round.
Yep, Ivan's out of there. He was hoping maybe you get 1 kill, and then you're able to push in, overrun, get the bomb down, and at the very least have the plant money, even if you don't manage to hold on to it when the rest of the Parceiros start to rotate. But unfortunately, Ivan goes down, and well, that's all she... Oh no, the hunt.
Oh.
That's really unlucky. Being able to hold on to that AWP would have been really great for BABOS, but not to be allowed. As we mentioned, economy not terrible, but not great either. They're going to have to obviously buy for each other a little bit, make a few concessions here and there. They are buying into the AWP again, which is a very interesting... I don't know if I agree with this. I feel like you'd be better... I suppose he had a lot of money, so everybody's buying down. So, okay, but maybe better suited with a rifle. The AWP didn't really get great results in the previous round. But we'll see. Maybe he can bring it home here. Oh!
Oh.
Yes,
what
yes,
was that? That was definitely interesting, to say the least. Can he do anything on this front still? And Honda going to be chiming in from either side of this mid position, and that nade going to be delivering a decent amount of damage. I think that was like damage. They're going to continue.
Double AWP now. This is great. Realistically speaking, does a double AWP actually do anything right now? I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think you maybe just try and find... There wasn't really another rifle, was there? So your choice is AWP or pistol.
Oh, Ivan still going to be sneaking up. I don't know. I don't really approve of the double AWP in this setup. I think like if they have an AK, they can pick it up. That's exactly what they should be going with. But I'm not a pro player, but I will, you know, down talk this. I don't think it's the right call, especially when you have to play aggressive around corners. If you've got a side lock down, it might be worth it. Utility is going to be used. Peeking down and towards pit could be an interesting play with the double AWP setup, but we'll have to wait and see if that's going to work whatsoever. It's not. Ivan does manage to get a kill, but is it going to be too little, too late? 12 seconds left on the clock, and 1 player left in towards pit. And the moment he's going to push up. He doesn't care. Still. Steals it away.
There is a... Okay, yeah, there is a little bit of a mix-up on the overlay. This is not Kase. Oh, it's saying playing on Anubis picked by Kase. That's why it's why it confused me. Yeah. So this is Inferno picked by BABOS. There you go. That's why I got confused. I blame production. Anytime I say anything wrong, it's production's fault.
Oh, nice spray down in towards this second mid position. The pistols are going to be good enough. Never mind. Damn, going to be proving me wrong. Honda swinging on out. Look at the face off against this MP9 who jumps around the corner.
All right.
Slaughters the foes. And, well, now we're going to be down to a 2-on-3 situation. Davin. Oh, actually, they don't even have the bomb one. This is actually going to be fairly dangerous, but they now know where to the players up. This is actually completely recoverable depending on if Zed is able to get a kill. Shots come through. He slaughters him. But the bomb's position is now known. The AK has been picked up. Yeps is going to have to play a little bit slower. And the smoke goes down. That's got to be frustrating to deal with. You can hear the bomb getting planted. Didn't realize there was only one player towards site. Smoke goes out and towards the CT position here. Trying to sneak around the corners. I say sneaky, he's just making loud noises as he goes through. Elephant, hit it around. Yeps. He's got to do a lot to make this work, and unfortunately for him, Zed had that angle covered. That was recoverable, but I don't really think that there's. I wouldn't really put that fault on Castle. I mean, in that mid position from Honda and so, yeah, they should have won those duels. But in that 2v3, I can't really blame them because the bomb was left so out of play that they couldn't really predict it.
What's so crazy is, like, I start that round talking about absolute nonsense, you know, like anti-eco, you're thinking, yeah, we'll just rush through this round, no worries. And then, of course, we get the most ridiculous eco round imaginable. Almost everybody dies towards the end, but BABOS are able to eco Kase, and that's a really, really big feather in their cap going into this. Nice little bit of cash for themselves. Kase's economy looking dire, to say the very least. BABOS can definitely start to pull ahead again. You know, they had a nice little lead. They conceded around, and they've very quickly been able to return fire, bring things back in their favor. Yeah, I think this is definitely doable. I mean, I think we both kind of counted this team out when we were talking before the game started, but so far they're impressing.
Yeah, they've done really well. I'm impressed, and I'm interested to see how they do going forward. But yeah, it's going to be a look at the first shut down on that aggressive push. AK is going to get recovered. Leo is going to have to play in towards this pit position. That smoke only lasts for so long. He realizes that. He is going to get reboosted by his teammate, Zed. And his teammate potentially going to go for a boost. Yeah, exactly what they're going to be doing. I do enjoy it when players look to play around the smoke like this. Oh, if that had landed, that would have been an absolute nightmare. Nightmare, I can't say. Anyway, still going to be in a dangerous position. Over the early peak, Yaps goes in for the peak low. He goes for an aggressive position. It doesn't quite work out. RCF is tapped through the smoke. AWP, and now Leo in a perfect position, but unfortunately for him, Risk is a little bit too fast on the draw. 3v2. This is recoverable. Time is ticking now. By the time they get in position, it's going to be close to about 1/3 of the time gone. Do they have kits? That is a real question. They do not. So they have very little time to work with right now. And Zed is going to potentially counter the aggression down with Banana. But he looks away for a split second. But it's enough. He turns around, gets the kill. And, well, that's the shutdown. RCF had low HP to deal with. He jumps away. That was so close. I thought he was going to get caught off guard. But no. Fantastic round for BABOS once again.
Yeah, their post-plants have actually been really solid. And I think that part of that is on Kase, you know, kind of solo peeking out one at a time and then getting shut down one at a time. In that kind of situation, the buddy system tends to work out a little bit better, being able to swing on your partner and creating a little bit more space for your team to push in. But unfortunately, going 1-for-1, BABOS wins those trades. And that's the second time they've won in a 2v3 situation in a post plant. So well done there, getting themselves yet another round on the board. Yeah, Kase starting to look a little bit lost. They did manage to hold on to the AWP from the previous round, so they've got a little bit of extra firepower available here. But in this pistol round, I'm not too sure they're going to get too much done. They have, however, still done some serious damage to BABOS's economy. So if they could get just a few kills here, then, as always, that would be a really good situation for this eco.
What do you mean, a USP and AWP bias? Like, classic. I mean, the extra firepower is always great with AWP, but it's so risky doing anything with it. Playing over towards B is a, you know, decent shout. I'm just interested if they'll be able to carry it through. If we have a look at their economy right now, no. Okay, well, he's dead. Doesn't matter. Like, it can get picked up by Leo. I'm wondering if they're gonna potentially now go over towards B, play a little bit more aggressive on that position, thanks to being able to get that kill. It was a little bit of a dangerous peek there from RCF. He did have armor. That would have been useful to be able to keep through into the next rounds, but it's not really end of the world. And, well, we are seeing an aggressive push over towards A. USBs in hand to see if the CTs can do anything in this run. And, well, it's going to be yes. They managed to get at least one kill on this front. They managed to get a little bit of damage over towards Melancholy, and that is going to be all she wrote.
Leo did manage to recover the AWP, so at least they got that going for them into the next round. I mean, this is a round that BABOS should realistically have come out on top of. If they hadn't managed to win this one, it would have been a little bit concerning. I did just want to bring up, so I am predominantly an analyst, so I love statistics. And as much as we talk about how, on paper, Kase probably should be the team that comes out on top of this due to, you know, they've got a little bit more experience, they've been around a little bit longer, BABOS pretty much an unknown quantity. But when I look at some of their stats on HLTV, and bearing in mind it is a very, very limited stat pool, but on a one-to-one basis, every player on BABOS is smashing the Kase players. And I think that is why they're winning. They're able to win so many of these individual duels, because mechanically, they are performing better than the Kase players. So when they come down to those 1v1 situations, when a player peeks out solo, it seems like BABOS are just doing a little bit better at winning out those engagements, and it's making a huge difference, especially in those situations where Kase is peeking out 1-for-1 and not, as we say, using the buddy system. So a little bit of an interesting little tidbit for anyone who is interested, as now we do have a timeout coming through. I think that's a reasonable decision to make. For BABOS, it was their timeout, so they've managed to win 2 rounds, but they know that Kase, well, they suspect Kase will be able to buy into this one, and they don't want to give up their lead. So take a break, take a breather, make sure that your strategies are going to maintain efficacy, and then push forward.
Yeah, a solid buy going to be coming out from Kase. They should be able to try and deflect BABOS, who have got absolutely everything. All the trimmings that they could possibly need. The R is going to be playing aggressive here, gets the information, but the Molotov is going to be coming back towards him. The nades do a lot of damage to Zed, but doesn't manage to kill him. That Molly as well, unfortunately, doesn't do a lick of damage. Does deter him for a couple of moments. That double nade setup was fairly good. Although he landed in different areas, does mean that the damage was slightly less, but yep, was tagged down. Leo being boosted up is a classic position. Ivan going in for the lurker. A bit of an anchor position over here. Seeing if anyone wants to push up against him, but he is actually now switching up, playing a little bit more aggressive in towards apartments as his team looks to try and take this from a different angle, realizing that he is a little bit more locked down for now, but they're now going to go and try and burn some utility up over towards the A site, so recovery over towards the B site is a little bit harder if they do end up pushing over towards that direction. Obviously still had rotated on over towards B as well, so they could potentially be accounting for over rotations as well. Pushing in towards apartments, we should see a couple of flashes come out, but they're going to have to wait. Never mind, they don't care. The flash is going to be working fantastically. RCF is going to have to go big for his teammate. Shots come out for both of them. It's going to be a double kill, but Damon does take down Honda, and Honda was really the crucial anchor on this site of being able to hold it down. The bomb is going to get recovered, and it is going to get planted in a bit of a, well, less favorable position. They can't go set up in apartments and defend it now. Can't say. It's going to be a difficult retake. I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to pull this one off. They have one flash left. Molotov does go out from the opposition. Smoke over towards long. Should land just about in time to block off Yeps. Damage should be able to peek up and go for the spray down. He gets one, but Yeps and RCF going to be chiming in with a couple of their own kills, and they recover it out of the bag. Fantastic. That one flash did everything.
Great retake. You know, when you have minimal utility, you have to maximize it to the best that you can. Throw that flash out. It gets a lot of value. It stalls out BABOS from being able to push out and counter. Sure, the smoke comes through, but they know with the flash having gone out, they have a little bit of space that they can push through, get themselves in onto the site. They did also have the numbers advantage. So as strong as BABOS's post plants have been, particularly towards that B site, here over on A, just could not get it to gel. And now, Babos in a bit of a tight spot economically if this round doesn't go their way. So hopefully they can get it going. They did just take that timeout, so you kind of start to hope, well, maybe that gives them that little bit of extra burst. But no, Kase back with a vengeance, it seems.
There's a little bit of no time, in my opinion, for the timeout. It's not something I would have favorably have done. You want to try and keep up that momentum if you can, which is a little bit of a cliche momentum, but honestly, I stand by it. Going all the way from the days they'll talk about Virtus Pro and their, well, their momentum they used to build up off of. It's a legit thing. Obviously, a little bit of cliche. But I think these teams can make it work. Let's see now if BABOS can bring this back. They did have that 2-point lead, Sam. Now down to only 1. If they can go from losing that previous round to slamming this one out, they would really screw up the economy on Kase, who are going to have very little to play with going into the next round. There's a chance this could work for them. Execution going to be coming out over towards the B site. Smokes and flashes. And there's only one player who's sitting over that. At the moment, the bomb's now being lost in towards this underpass position. RCF does look away, realizing someone could be sneaking up in towards apartments, and he's going to be left alone there to try and hold this position. And this is a little bit of a strange one. I mean, BABOS were looking to go over towards B. Okay, they have actually returned to this position after picking up the bomb. Smoke going out. This is going to allow them to play a little bit more aggressive in towards that CT position. Which for them, it's not going to work as Jens is here. He picks up one and another one through the smoke almost. To the side of it. That's Flash going to be working fantastic. He just plays aggressive. He doesn't care. Sees one of the players running away. It's going to be the last player. Ivan, who just managed to clip away. 5 seconds left on the clock. He has to stay alive. And they're going to be chasing. They're hungry for the kill. But I think he should just be able to get away. He's going to be holding up into this angle. It is not worth going up there. If they killed him, Sam, that would have been huge.
Would have been the ideal situation there, but unfortunately not able to take that one away. But I say having the resurgence that they definitely would have wanted. And to be fair, neither of these teams on a scoreline that you would look at and just go, well, they're in trouble. No matter what happens, no matter how this round ends now, both teams still in with a serious fighting chance in that second half. Okay, BABOS in a bit of a tight spot now. Obviously, we mentioned, right, if they lost that previous round, cash would be a massive problem. At least they still do have that AWP, but it is the attacking AWP, and it's a little bit more difficult to get value from it. I say that. I mean, Ivan has been fantastic, so might still be able to get a miracle shot here.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a lot to make it work for them. Davin, that was, a little bit of a cheeky one. I think that was close. If Honda had picked that, I think he would have been able to get that headshot. I do like having Deagles. We get some good shots. We saw it yesterday in a couple of games. Some nice Juan Deags, as it were. Can't say they have an opportunity to try and get the lead. Will equalizer. RCF misses that shot. This does allow the player to be able to sneak on past. The shot comes through, lands, but does very little. Honda. One of these players out towards a short position, makes quick work of them. And, well, it should be the spell of the end. Still 45 seconds left on the clock. Pistols and the AWP as well. So at what point do you cut your loss? I'm like, okay, well, we want to make sure our AWP stays alive, but we also want to make sure our two players either die or win. And I think that's exactly the case. Oh, this is a smart position. One up in towards the balcony positions on this, pointing in towards flower pots. They're not going to expect this whatsoever, but unfortunately it didn't quite work out. The headshot does, though. Honda fools. Let's see, want that one coming. Goes in towards that long position, does end up dying. That should be the round over. Ivan going to be hiding back in towards these apartments once again.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about thinking about when it's time to cut your losses, and when you consider how close we are to the end of this half, yeah, in a round where you realize at the end of this, you're still not going to have a ton of cash, cut your losses, not a terrible idea. So holding on to the AWP, good call. Still able to use it into this round. And of course, there will be a buy coming out from BABOS, but there's going to be some concessions made, either to armor or utility. Somewhere along the line, there's going to be a concession. So they are taking their second tactical timeout now. They're going to need a moment to just kind of discuss what on earth the plan is. 2 rounds left. By the end of this round, of course, we'll be on last round of the half. And Kase, I mean, on a 3-round streak at the moment, looking to kind of run away with this one. Lots of cash for them as well. So even if they do lose out on this round, they're fine into the next. Realistically, it's BABOS who are on the back foot here.
Yeah, it's been a nice switch up. I mean, this is the kind of scoreline you'd expect around this point. This is classic Inferno.
Yeah.
Obviously, having 6 rounds on the board for BABOS is great on their T side, but I mean, realistically, they're going to want more.
Yeah.
From their T side, especially with being the sort of team composition they are, with having I mean, they're not a team that have played together that much, with all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very few. So I'm interested to see how they do on their CT side. I think that's going to be very telling. And then obviously we have Anubis coming up. I'm stressing about that because I've not cast that map yet on an official anyway. I think it's super interesting, and I think it's going to be chaotic as hell because we have BABOS, who's, I don't want to call them a puggy team, like a pug team. They're not, but they have a bit of a puggy lineup because they've not really played enough together. Carsey, on the other hand, they should have a potential upper hand on it, but we have to wait and see.
We've got to get through this map first, I suppose, and, well, the fight's not over just yet. Both of these two teams still putting everything into it. I'll be interested to see who does come out on top of this one. It seems Kase will probably have the lead at the half, but it ain't over till it's over. The classic utility usage down banana, but I'm glad to see that Kase aren't throwing everything they have early on in the round like they did a little while back, holding on to some of that util for later on. And, well, as we mentioned, BABOS having to sacrifice some of that utility to get their buyout, it has put them in a little bit of a precarious spot. They still have all the utility they need, and they're going to make it work.
Oh, God, that was painful to watch. Unfortunately, BABOS were able to just tear apart. I'll say that, and I think that has to... I think they're making the call fairly early on going in for the save on these guns, and funnily enough, the bomb isn't actually anywhere near the A site. I would laugh if they decide to go for the play over towards B. I don't think it's going to be the case because they've got a lot of information over towards this A site and also control thanks to those smokes. But I'm trying to work out how that fell apart so hard because they were trying to counter for the flashes that would come through, but it seems like they have to look back over towards the flashes at the exact same time because you have a player who is setting up on top of that position on short. And then the player below who's straight hard holding it, and they both looked out towards a flash, which is exactly what you're meant to try and avoid in that sort of position. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look back on that. Maybe have a replay of it or something.
BABOS managing to secure that round. Big feather in their cap. I mentioned I thought Kase were going to be able to come out with the lead in this half. It's still definitely possible, but nice to see BABOS biting back. Nice to see them making some of those adaptations that we know they can do. We've seen it a couple of times throughout just this half. So see them kind of continuing to be able to do that. And of course, their first timeout didn't really work out in their favor. Right after that timeout, they conceded 3 rounds in a row. It took a second timeout, and they've done a really good job of bringing it back, kind of reining it in a little bit. And now, of course, they're in a much better position economically. I think that first kill of the round there, I think, it was definitely instrumental in giving them the space that they need. Yes, they did get traded out, but they do get a return shot. So immediately they have that numbers advantage to push through on. So they can replicate that here again. And sorry, buddy, nobody saw.
Oh, and then someone's headshot as well down banana through smoke. That is painful. RCF able to get a trade off. I think. Yeah, that was worth the. Oh my god. All right, well, yeah, that's what you get. David just spraying through the smoke, gets a kill, and the rotation now has to happen almost immediately from one of the players. RCF going to be going over towards B, and well, Melancholy has an opportunity to change the start of the game, but it's going to be Reese coming in from this position, but his teammate instead gets the kill, them. They're just tearing them apart. I'll say, look like they just have no clue what they're doing. They've just been outplayed on that front. I mean, yes, 2 of the kills were through smoke over towards B, but over towards A, we just saw them absolutely get torn apart.
Yeah, it's a funny way of putting it. Oh, no. That's rough. Well, that is the half, 8-7 in favor of BABOS. Folks, we're going to take a short break. When we return, we'll be back with the second half. All right. We're back on Inferno with Kase versus BABOS. A relatively It's incredibly close affair and very, very back and forth as well between these two teams. I think a little bit closer than what we would have expected coming into this one. But now, of course, they swap sides, and this is really BABOS' time to shine. Maybe.
I love the dualies. I love it. BABOS should win this by default with those dualies. No. we actually have a lot of utility from the side of Crusade here. 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and also a molly. That is a high investment into those. So 2 players with no armor whatsoever. So this could be a fairly interesting execution in regards to where that's placed at the moment. It's all at the mouth of Banana on T-ramp. They're just waiting to do something. Try to find at least anything in towards apartments. That is exactly what RCF and Yeps are doing at the moment. Really brutal first half there, Sam, for this team. It's not their map pick, but still, it's one they potentially should have done a little bit better on their CT side. They go into this without the advantage of that extra 8th round.
Still doable, obviously. This isn't the worst scoreline in the world to go into the half with, so definitely can bring it back in their favor. The pistol, of course, is going to be very telling. Give a good indication of how this might go.
Smokes are going to be laid down. It's going to be the Julies and the USPs looking to chime in and gets a couple of kills. He's going to have to drop down unnoticed by Yeps, who just pushes to the back of sight. Does get a kill, but the Julies are here to reign supreme. Never mind. Misses the majority of his shots. Does a lot of damage, but, well, 93 isn't 100. And BABOS going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Going to have to go in for the recovery. Davin's head snapped off. Honda not looking to take any prisoners. RCF as well. It's not just a quick shot off the AWP. Also with the pistol there, the Glock. Now Ivan, last one left alive on his team. He's going to make a lot of noises. Oh, Ivan almost throwing away that chance to get the kill, and he's going to be pushing back in towards this position towards CT. He's going to stay alive. Oh, never mind. There's going to be a player coming up behind him. He may not realize this. He has heard the footsteps. Turns around. He's got a limited amount of bullets, but makes it work with the, I think, the last bullet there, or maybe the 5th bullet.
I respect what Kase did there. It's very risky to put that much cash into that and bring out all that utility, but it did allow them to have a pretty standard execute, I suppose, onto the site, and knowing that BABOS wasn't going to have anything to reply with aside from guns, I think that it did give them a little bit of an upper hand. That can obviously backfire quite badly, but again, you're coming up against a team who's a little bit less seasoned, a little bit less veteran, so you can sometimes take those risks and get away with it, and it pays off perfectly.
Dominade back behind Cement, going to be able to take care of business. Unfortunately, those nades in reverse were not synced up, so the damage didn't really lay down as much as it should have. And still may well have lost some HP, but he's still alive. Smoke's going to go down, but Yeps doesn't care. Oh, he did back off into it a little bit too much. Nade's going to be coming out. Doesn't do too much, but having a 5-7, all that extra damage will make a difference. Honda going to be tracking him in apartments here via the footsteps. He does now go in reverse back in towards the stairs position. The boiler would hold that with his teammates. They have got the A1 on Ivan. It's an interesting upgrade. I'm not sure how it's going to work. He does find one. Trade does come back off. The 5-7 as well. Long distance makes it work. They can't even recover this A1. That is a little bit unfortunate for them. I'm going to make it. Yeps is going to catch this play off guard. No, Melancholy is just able to snap this head off, but in kind, Honda takes care of business. The Julies almost find their target, but do fall a little bit too short. Last player left alive, Zed, and I think he can recover a rifle here down in towards that mid position. There we go. Khalil is going to be on hand. There is an A1 at the top of mid. But I don't know if you want to give away your position, especially for a gun that is not reloaded. It's got 25 bullets in this. Comes with 35 normally, so slightly less than normal for him. Should still be able to peek on this. One of the players is going to be very low. It's going to be Steel, but he's going to have to find that kill fairly fast if he wants to have a chance at this. He does turn around. Honda saw him. He didn't. He gets the kill on sight, chucks down the smoke. But unfortunately for him, Honda's in the perfect counter position, gets the kill. Very, very expensive round for Kase Sam.
It was. I mean, this was almost a phenomenal comeback from BABOS. They did an incredible job on a round where they had very, very little to work with, and they've decimated Kase's bonus. There is no bonus to speak of. It's a full rebuy into this, and it's not even a strong rebuy. That being said, BABOS themselves don't really have a ton of money to play with it on this at this stage. Unfortunately, they just, they spent a little bit into the previous rounds, and that means that right now there's not much to work with. Oh, the disrespect.
I love it, Max 10. Box of bullets. You just chuck it at the enemies and take care of business. Obviously, BABOS don't really have too much to play with, but we did say that on their pistol round on the T side. So that flash does work out. RCF able to get that kill. Zed not able to really do too much. Gets a little bit of damage. 21 points of damage, that is. Oh, RCF going to be blinding himself as well as Thin Air. There's a player sitting in towards this area. We're trying to go for the shots, but unfortunately not able to take care of business there. And RCF stands and stays alive. No bomb has gone down yet, Ivan. Didn't quite expect there to still be two players holding this mid and second mid position.
RCF is laughing all the way to the bank at this point. I mean, that was a great round from him. Tip of the spear, managing to get 3 kills in that round with just a Mac 10. Nasty. Really, really solid stuff there. And again, a lot of that is the disrespect play. But if it works, it works. You can't really say anything against it. BABOS were just not prepared for that level of aggression, and unfortunately, they lost out because of it.
Both these teams are only fighting for their lives. They lose this, keep in mind they are in the lower bracket right now. If they lose this, they are out. If they do win this, they will go up against the winner between Saw and Endpoint, if I recall correctly. No, that is incorrect. I'm an idiot. It is actually not decided yet, because it's not done yet. We will see. Oh, Leo. And yes, do get those kills. That is fairly big. Having that 10th round on the board is big for Kase. Now they can play a little bit more confident. They've got a 2-round lead. 2 players down so far on the side of BABOS. 1 player over towards that B side, who is actually going in for a bit of a potential over-rotation. But there's very little information gathered on the side of BABOS at the moment.
Like winner here will play against Partisan, as I believe Eternal Fire have 2-0'd them. So
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, me neither. Eternal Fire, from what we saw yesterday, looking pretty damn good.
Yeah. Not being toxic. It's just absolutely fantastic game watching them yesterday. And I don't think anyone's too surprised that they obviously have played across the world on multiple stages and at least tournaments, and have done very well. So I'm interested to see what they're going to be able to do. Obviously, Genk, who we casted yesterday here, or actually it was on the B stream yesterday, defaulted through to the next round of lower bracket thanks to Heat forfeiting, and the Genk will go up against Saw Endpoint. Whoever wins
Speaking
out of
of
those two.
Endpoint currently 11-7 up. What do you think of that one, Tom?
I love it. Although I do love both teams. The Saw support is absolutely fantastic. But let's look at this. Reese does take care of Yeps. This is just Kase trying to take dominance over the economy, and it's working. Zed, last one left alive. He can take out 2. He does, but can't quite find any more. As RCF is able to take care of him, and that is an AWP picked up on their side, but they did lose 2 players to the side of BABOS, and you know what? Worth it.
Still in a tight spot, all things considered. Kase looking very, very strong here. I mean, we're kind of hoping that BABOS would be able to make a bit of a resurgence here. Unfortunately, it hasn't really been going their way, and no cash to speak of here. We're staring down the barrel of a 12-8, a 4-round deficit. Kase look to take some more relatively aggressive control. I don't know, it feels like BABOS have just really struggled to read into Kase's approaches. They back off, they're feeling they're playing scared, is what it is, As soon as Kase start peeking out, they started with some serious balls at the start of this map, but now it feels like they're pretty hesitant.
It's it's definitely a lot harder as a team that aren't quite as well. How do I put this? Chimed together. They don't know each other as well, and some of the tactics may not be there. CT side is always going to be a little bit harder, and T side is going to be a little bit easier to play with. If you're playing with Chaos versus Order, Chaos usually is able to win on the T side a little bit better. Talking of which, Leo comes in and wipes the faces of Zed and Davin, looking to get a little bit of revenge for himself after being wiped off the face of the earth when he was holding towards B. As I say that, he is going to get taken care of by an Eagle. Oh, Ivan has been answered. Mag 7 going to be coming through. He lands a headshot, but not all the pellets landed. 2 HP on Steel. That is painful. You're looking at him after this round is over. He's going to be kicking himself for not being able to get that kill.
It just goes from bad to worse. At least Risk was able to pick up one of those AKs. So you come into a round where all you had was pistols. You managed to take one AK into the next round. That's okay. You know what? That's okay. You get 2 kills as well. Although, you know, we talk about that too little too late for the economy damage, and I think that we're kind of reaching that point here. Like, yeah, you're gonna do some damage to their cash, but like RCF is over $7,000. It's not really making the biggest difference in the world, and with Kase consistently winning rounds, it doesn't really matter. So you definitely want to see a little bit more coming through here from Babos. Now they're going to be able to reinvest in, but of course their opportunities for turning things back in their favor are slowly dwindling. This is kind of a really important momentum shift around for Babos. They have to come up on top of this one if they want to keep themselves alive. Of course, Kase Esports are only 4 rounds away from victory, and Babos are going to have maybe 3 buys in those 4, which doesn't sound terrible, but if you lose a buy, lose a pistol, yeah, it's not good.
Potentially very painful. Going to be coming on. Oh, that AWP shot landed, but unfortunately didn't quite hit the mark. Legged RCF, who's still going to be standing. And he has low HP, but he's an AWP. He doesn't care. He's going to be able to pick up the first kill. The trade should be coming out as well. We could be seeing another one, but no, the shots are missed. Melancholy able to get that kill on towards Honda. Ivan going to be playing in a similar position. Does get a kill on towards sight, but Leo does manage to get a trade off. 2v2, this is the closest we've seen it in a while. The bomb has to go down fairly fast. Both these players have lost at least a little bit of HP. Leo going to be very key and crucial at this point, but he catches him off guard. That should not have been allowed. Zed is going to be mollying him off, and the play in towards smoke isn't going to be working in his favor. Smoke's going to be coming down, and now RCF is going to be in a fantastic position, unknown, I'd imagine, by the likes of Zed, who is going to be playing deep on towards sight. Now it's all about trying to find this player who only has 17 HP. Make some noise. He's going in for the spray. He's completely unsure, and the AWP comes out. That is so unfortunate and so well played by RCF.
Disgusting. And as we said, right, fairly pivotal round. If Babos aren't able to come through on this one, their next buy is going to be less than ideal. Even this one is going to be a bit of a force. So they could be in a bit of trouble. A bit of trouble. Woo! Words are hard when it's hot, folks. It is summer down here. I am dying. But I think I'm doing a little bit better than Babos is right now.
Yes, they're definitely going to be in the hot water right now. RCF going to be holding the jump position in case anyone decides to jump across. A little bit of a dangerous one to hold. High risk, potentially high reward. Yeps and his teammates have pushed down towards this banana position. Zed and Davin going to be holding here. Davin going to be in a position that's, you know, classically either mollied or at least naded out, and I think that's exactly what we should expect to see here. As I say that, it doesn't happen. It goes up. He's still going to be there. Does get killed. Yeps is going to be tagged down fairly heavily. Zed going to be in a good position to spray them down. But keep in mind, you've got limited bullets in that A1, so you can only do so much. Counter flash going to be coming out, but to no avail. No one's there. From looks like he's still able to pick up a kill because Leo turned around and rushed towards the B site. A little bit too eager beaver.
Could still be salvageable. 2 versus 2 over towards that B site. Babos haven't rotated just yet. And we know that Kaiser's post plants on B have been pretty good. If they can get through this, if they can trade, if they can lose only one player, then this is definitely a winnable scenario for them. But I think that that's a bit of a tough ask, especially now as the clock continues to run down. They're going to be forced to make a move, and they might just run straight into the AWP.
This has to be the side they hit as well. The smoke is about to go down. The push up from Ivan doesn't work out. He falls to the AK. Now Zed is going to be playing in towards Dark. He's going to go for the aggressive peek. Takes down the bomb holder, but overdoes it. There was only 8 seconds left on the clock. If he retained himself a little bit, held back, he might have been able to be there for his team. RCF sees the players through the smoke here as it dissipates, gets the kill. Now Melancholy, last player left alive, has everything to play for, everything to lose. The damage comes out, but not the kill. He has to carry on pushing. He can't stop. 19 bullets left. Magazine here. Goes in for the spray, misses it, turns around, and unfortunately for him, not quick enough to the draw as RCF wipes him from the map.
There is something really satisfying about when I say, if they can just lose one player, and that's it, they lost only one player, and with 2 players left alive, they're able to hold the line. Awesome. Really, really well played. Yeah, I mean, this is what we saw from Babos on their T side. Kase able to replicate the same thing. Strong post-plant positioning, good angles being held, and of course, RCF has been a monster. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that he's on 26 kills when in comparison to the rest of the server? I mean, he's just playing an absolute phenomenal game today.
Yeah, really enjoyed watching him so far. 26 kills.
Yeah.
He's copying his Antares from yesterday. Casting him. Oh, yep. Caught off guard by the shotgun in apartments. Oh, A1 as well. We're going to work with RCF as we talk about him. Leo going to be chiming back in with 2 of his own kills. That's exactly what needed to happen. And now he can push on over towards B. He's going to be giving away his position. Honda has to stay alive. Hold up the rear. Needs to get this kill, but he jumps at the wrong moment. The spray through the boxes comes through, but unfortunately when you use all your bullets for that, you have very little to play with otherwise. Now still, he's got 50 seconds to go in for a rotation, and Honda can just play it up over towards this long position. And now by the time Babos realized they've essentially been duped, it's too late. You have to hit those shots, and unfortunately it was a pistol. And well, they should have this in the bag. They know where the other player is. They can just plant on default, go in towards apartments and pit. And, well, they're going to be looking fairly nice and tidy. They don't even need to go in towards apartments. They can if they want a little bit of a safer play. Holding towards the short position is going to be a clever one as well. Ivan, last one left alive. He's got armor. No utility, though. He spots a player towards pit. He hasn't got that lightning time reaction, though. Unable to hit that shot. He's waiting for any kind of aggressive peek, but unfortunately, again, his reaction speed is just not there. So he's going to have to back off, pick up the AWP, and now they have to play for overtime.
And that's going to be a bit of an ask, bearing in mind, again, they have not won a single round on their CT side. It's devastating, but fact of life. And we're on match point here. It's going to be a forced buy out of Babos, and it's not going to be a clean one by any measure. They'll have guns, but as usual, they will have to sacrifice armor and utility to ensure that they have the guns. They're going for the double AWP. That is, you know what, if there was ever a time to just throw things against the wall and see what sticks, I guess now would be it. I kind of want this to work. I would be very, very happy if this does work, but I think it's a Hail Mary, and I don't think that it's going to get the results they want.
We'll see. It's going to be an AWP on either site. Smoke has gone down, but RCF is going to be on this position, and now RCF may be baited out here in towards the long yaps. Does manage to find the kill. Was that a big cost? Ivan comes through, does manage to find one. That was a really nice kill. But is it going to be enough? Davin playing too aggressive. The bomb wasn't on site yet. He overplayed his hand. I will mention, for Davin's sake, he did only just finish work, so
yeah, rough.
It's got a little bit of added stress and pressure from daily life. And, you know, well, Babos are going to be trying to do their best to improve and make a name for themselves. Team from Switzerland. Players from all over the place at the moment. They were originally sticking with players from Switzerland, or at least the majority. They have switched it up this this roster. Let's move on. As they do decide to push on over towards B from, well, can't say rather, do Z has a smoke. That's going to be useful for holding this back, just as the utility from the other team is going to be coming through. He uses that incendiary grenade potentially a little bit too early, but he's going to be holding close and personal on this front. He doesn't know how close he is. Just shoot through the smoke. You'll be fairly happy with the results. Flashes comes out. He gets the first kill, but now needs to back off, playing potentially a little bit too aggressive. If he goes in for the peek, it's going to be too much. The deagle from RCF. He works it now from behind. We have a couple of players. They have to go in for peek. Potentially getting the kill. Reese makes it work. Jumps around the corner. There's going to be 4 seconds left on clock. He hasn't got time to get this. Picks up the AWP. Pushing down Banana. Caught off guard. Ivan playing with fire. If he had waited a second more, he would have been safer. A risk that worked out.
So unreal. They had the double up, and I was hoping that the double up was going to work out. To be fair, it gets 2 really important kills, and it's part of what brings Kase all the way down to only 2 players. 3 players towards the end that were pushing up Banana. They kind of posture towards A. They pull back. They head back towards B site, which is being solo held. A flash comes out, which instantly brings them down to only 2 players. But those 2 players are down against the 2 AWPers. One of the AWPer picks up a rifle, and Kase spend an eternity before they actually plant. I'm not sure what they were expecting was going to happen on site, but when they breached the site, they were already basically at 0 time left. That was a really weird one from Kase, but well done, Babos. Unfortunately, into this round, they didn't really get to hold on to any of the weaponry aside from the AWP and the 1 rifle, so it's a big spend coming into this, and with very little to show for it.
See if they can bring something more to the table here. They only need 1 round. Yeah, but still, you know, solid lead. Side of Babos, 6-round lead. Exactly what you want on the board. Now they're going to play with fire, pushing in towards this site. They don't fully dedicate yet. They didn't want to rush out on towards balcony and get mowed down. We'll see. And I have had it confirmed that Melancholy is really interesting name change. Oh, affected by that flash, but not enough. Still able to hit that shot. Still does fall. Plays back in towards the site. Smoke is going to be landed on towards that balcony position. Flash is going to be getting followed up. Reese realizing he's going to be in a whole load of trouble if he's not careful, but makes the difficult shot on towards Leo. Yes. Pushes in towards the short position here as well. AWP going to be having to play close and personal. Ivan going to reload as well. Yeps takes care of Zed over towards that long position. RCF up close and personal. It's going to be Reese who takes him down, and now RCF going to be left in a 1v2. AWP in hand, 8 seconds as well. He has to go for the shots. He misses them, and Davin out from short. The MP9 bags an extra $600 for his team.
Well, Babos have hit a second win here. 2 rounds in a row. The AWP is back out. It worked out for them a couple rounds ago, so they're going to see if they can keep that momentum going. It's good to see. It's good to see a resurgence from them. Good to see them finally starting to take some control here, but of course they need to win 5 rounds in a row. This next one could be a slam dunk for them, as it is an anti-eco, but it's not confirmed. Kase have done more with less.
Well, they're going to be burning themselves alive. Leo doesn't care for waiting until the fire goes. And now they even stop that momentum. So taking that damage was completely worthless. Nades are going to be coming out. Should be able to deliver some damage. Doesn't actually manage to land on anyone. Let's see. Oh. How many people are playing the A1? I think it's pretty much everyone on the side of Babos are playing A1. I'm not quite sure if any of them have still got the A4. Or have switched, rather. I have to say, I'm enjoying watching RCF play. Yeah.
He's been so much fun to watch. He might even hit that 30 bomb. You're already up to 29. See it happening.
Reached as well. Fantastic. The push comes out. The MP9 proved valuable for that first kill, but couldn't quite land the shots in the second one. And now Reese is going to have to play with the 5-7. I was just mentioning him. He's going to be a whole load of trouble. That headshot came out, but through the side of the box. And now the recovery has to come in. Yeps is going to be holding this angle fairly tight with an AWP, and it works out. Ivan, on the other hand, does take down Steel. But if this is the round that I gotta say win, this is going to do detrimental works to Babos' morales here. Oh, yes, it's the shot, and now it's going to be Ivan left in a difficult situation. He can't do anything. That is going to be a 16-10 end result here, Sam.
What a rough way for Babos to finally lose it out. An anti-eco